Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm going to be comparing the speeds in between these four drives. This is actually what I have here in real life, basically. A few little details. Everything is going to be running basically close to their maximum speed, or basically at the maximum speed as possible. I'm doing my best. So first, let's start with the slowest one, which is this. This is a USB flash drive, but it uses USB 3.1 interface, basically, like the bandwidth. It's gonna be through these, and the max speeds, are claimed to be up to 130 megabytes a second reads and writes. So you can see right there. So it's a pretty tiny drive. It has been pretty reliable. You can get it for like super cheap. I have the 64 gigabyte version as well. Also, I have these for like 3 or 4 years already, something like that. It's a Corsair Gtx USB 3.1 as well, up to 5 gigabits a second, which translates to roughly like 525 megabytes a second reads and writes. And but this drive is supposed to reach only like 440 megabytes reads and writes speeds. So read up to 440 megabytes a second, and writes also 440 megabytes a second. These, I don't remember exactly, but it's an M.2 2.5 inch SSD through SATA 3 connection, but actually I'm gonna be using a USB 3.0 dongle adapter, so it will limit the speeds to like 525 megabytes a second, even though even though SATA 3 it's supposed to give me up to like 600, close to 650 max megabytes a second, but this drive won't really go over 500 on the read and write speed. So yeah, USB 3.0 will be more than fine to test this drive. And this is actually what it's running in my system right now. It's Kingston PCIe Gen 4x4 Nvme M.2. I have the 1 terabyte version as well. The thing is, it's running a PCIe Gen 3 only because of the processor I have. My motherboard supports Gen 4, like basically Gen 4 stuff, but it's running only on PCIe Gen 3. So let's see. Let me just show you now some other details, and I don't want to make this too long, but okay, 1 second. You can pause it here to read this. This will give you like a brief conception of what's going on, or like what speeds you should expect from these drives, and whatever we're using. The USB is right here. Like, you can pause it and read it. I don't want to make this video way too long explaining everything, but basically this will be the limits basically. On SATA 3 I'm going to be using actually USB 3.0, so it's going to be pretty similar speeds for reads and writes. Use SATA 3 and USB 3.0, or even 3.1 Gen 1. NVMe, the drive is not the fastest one, so PCIe Gen 3x4 should be more than fine to reach these speeds, but I think this drive is not even capable of reaching those, but it's going to be pretty good. And the downside is that I'm going to be using I'm gonna be doing it within the drive. I don't have any other NVMe drive, so it's not really that fair, because it would have been good if I had 2 of them and then just write from one drive to another, instead of like using it to do both processes at the same time. So but still, it's gonna beat every other drive in the system for sure. And you can pause it here and then read what's the bandwidth, basically the speeds, or like the data, the transfer speeds that we will be reaching with like USB. Forget about USB 2.0. This is what most people still use. We are going to be on USB 3.0 and 3.1 Gen 1, which should be here. USB 3.0 up to like 640 according to this. I know average is actually 500 to 600 max, what I see. And then USB 3.1. That's my other drive, the Corsair, so up to 1280, but like I said, it's limited. They claim 440 megabytes for the read and write speed, so same as the Micron. So let's begin. Let me show you the details, some of the details here. So that's the Kingston 1 terabyte PCI Gen 3x4, even though the drive is 4x4, so it's running on 3.0. Corsair, the GTX, USB 3.1. It's a SATA, but not. Yeah, it has an SSD controller, so that's why. So it's yeah, it's gonna be USB 3.1 actually, Gen 1. And then this drive is a Micron M50. I'm also using USB 3, like a USB 3.0 adapter to SATA. So yeah, we will see some good speeds here. So let's begin with the fastest drive, which is my internal, the Nvme M.2, the Kingston. This right here. This right here. So that's the one we're going to be using. So I'm going to start with this video. It's almost 2 gigabytes in size. So I'm going to make a quick copy. I just click Ctrl+C. You didn't see there. Oh, you know what? Let me just do it like this. Copy, right click, paste. It's going to be way too fast. Just watch. Yep. I need like a larger file. It went up to like 1.5 gigabytes. Let me do it again so you can see it. 1.5 gigabytes per second reads and writes. I mean, yeah, it's just way too fast. One thing, it's a single large file. So let's say I want to do this 6 gigabytes of mixed files. It's like pictures and videos, basically what most people use, music as well. So let me just do it within the drive. So it's doing like random reads and writes, and like I said, it was doing it within the same drive. So we saw like almost like 800 to 900 megabytes a second reads and writes. It was random. It wasn't like a sequential reads and writes like this big file here. I mean, this was actually in this folder too. So anyway, so yeah. So you should expect some crazy fast speeds. I mean, to be honest, I'm not. I know it's not fair. So let's go with the second fastest drive that I think I'm using, which is this here, the SSD 2.5, the Micron M500. So let me just do a single file for the sequential. It's gonna be like sequential write speeds to the drive. So let's see. So writing to the drive, it's like 370 megabytes a second. Now, let me click on it, copy the file back to my Nvme. So like I said, we are still using this right here, the M500. So I just modified the name of this file. So I can just do this copy. So I'm using this. It's gonna be reading from the SSD to my Nvme. And let's see how fast. So 448, 49 megabytes a second. So less than 500, as I was thinking. Now, let me just delete it. Yeah, it was the same file as this. I just changed the name. We just delete it from here. Now I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write to this drive again. Actually, you know, I should leave the picture down here somewhere. So I'm gonna be writing to this drive, and I'm gonna do this folder which has mixed items, like very small files to larger files. It's mostly pictures and videos. That's what like most common, like the average user uses, and some music too. So it's 6 gigabytes, nothing crazy. You know, I don't want to make this video way too long. So let's see. No, let me copy. Let me just put it here. Whatever. Yeah, let me just put it here. It's going to the same drive anyway. So this is mixed items, you know. So basically, almost the same speed as if it was sequential reads and writes. So you can see here some images going, you know, transferring, whatever. You know, it was less than 30 seconds basically. So now let me, if I refresh it, you will see the same icon. It's right. So this folder again, 6.3 gigabytes using this drive. I'm gonna copy from the drive, paste it. Let me just put it in here too. And let's see how fast. So reading from the drive, from the SSD to the NVMe, this is the speed. It's slightly faster, 430, 440. So that's pretty good to be honest. Yeah. Let me just delete it from here. So now let's do it with you know, I'm doing it from this drive, from my internal NVMe, just to make sure we, you know, there's no limiting factor or like nothing else that will change the way these drives are supposed to function, like the USB 3.0, which is right here. I mean, the USB flash drive, or these Corsair 2. So okay, so now let's go with let's go with this. I just want to keep it down here, so you know, just to show you. What am I gonna do? All right. So now the USB 3.1 Gen 1 Corsair GTX with an SSD controller. This is a 256 gigabyte file. So let me just go here. Let me copy to the drive these 2 gigabyte basically MKV file, which is a video. It's 25 minutes long. Yeah, whatever. So 355 megabytes a second. Yep. Now let me copy these. It was pretty quick. Copy, and let me paste it here, just so I don't have to change the name or nothing. So reading from the drive, yeah, so 390. That was pretty good. Yeah, let me delete it from here. So now let's do, this is like real life scenarios. So let's do this folder now, the 6.3 gigabyte mixed folder of pictures, videos, music. So let me just put it in here. So again, we are copying to this drive. It's pretty good. I paid over $100 for these when I got it back, you know, back then. Now you can get it for like $50 to $80. You know, it all depends on where you get it. So here, and you can go up to 1 terabyte. I only have the 256 gigabytes version. So you can see slightly slower when it's random files instead of just a sequential large file. Yep. And geez, I wish I oh, the file was in there too. Yeah. So yeah, after writing a couple of gigabytes, sometimes he will do that, like slow, you know, it's transfer speeds to like 100 megabytes a second on average. Reading from the drive, there's no issues. Writing to the drive, it will like get a little warm and thermo throttle basically, and then yeah. But like copying like 3-4 gigabytes will be fine. This was 6.3 gigabytes in total, so yeah. But like I said, you saw it when it was reading from the drive, it was like fast. You know what? Yeah, I don't want to make this video too long copying these, but I know this won't take that long either. So alright, now maybe I'll pause the video doing this and then just go back to it. I'm gonna be writing to this drive and then reading from this drive, from the USB flash drive, you know. So let's begin right here. Just put it on the side for now, and then this one here. Oh come on, what did I do? Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to make this too long. So yeah, so this is it. Let me copy. Hey guys, this is a quick update, actually correction basically on some on, like from what I did on my last video, which was comparing an like hard disk drive versus an SSD versus an NVMe M.2 versus this flash drive here that I have, and another flash drive that uses an SSD controller, which is the Corsair GTX USB 3.1 Gen 1 as well. It was way faster than this for sure. So in the previous video, this was just giving me about 50 megabytes a second on the reads and writes, like max. The thing is, I was just copying like pictures and videos, and now I was trying to put some music into it, and I was like, let me test the speed again. Copying to the drive, yeah, I saw like 15 to 20 megabytes a second when it was music. Reading from the drive, which is what this is supposed to, you know, the speeds that we're supposed to see, it says up to 130 megabytes a second read. It's actually faster. Look at this. So 153 to 155 megabytes a second, and it's random copying. It's not even a sequential file. So yeah, so when I try copying something like let me see, let me go here 1 second. Look at this. This video is 2 gigabytes in length. I mean in size, not in length. When I try copying that to the drive, it's a bit slow. So that's copying to the drive. Let's see now reading instead of writing to the drive, reading from the drive. So basically copy file. That's what radios will do, like when playing music, reading instead of writing to the actual drive. So now let's see it does when reading from the drive. Yeah, I don't know why yesterday was just doing, look, over 160. It's a little weird. Yesterday was just doing like 16 megabytes a second limits. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Okay guys, just a quick thing here. So this is the performance on Crystal Disk Mark of this Kingston 1 terabyte drive that I have. Like I said, it's running a PCIe Gen 3x4 instead of 4x4. This is a Kingston NV2, just like this. It's very popular now on Amazon, and you can get it for $60. And this is the read and write sequential speeds. The random 4K, it's down here. So yeah, we saw 1.5 gigs. So, but it was writing and reading. Writing and reading at the same time. So I need to make another video whenever I get another M.2, and yeah, it's gonna be in the future. So now I'm going to show you this hard disk drive. You know, I basically ended the video, but I was like, hey, I have to do the hard disk drive. I know a lot of people are still using this, so why not? And I had one sitting here. So yeah, let's begin the same thing. Let me copy this file, which is almost, right click, copy. It's almost 2 gigabytes, so it's going to be sequential write speeds. So writing about 100, close to 100 megabytes a second, sometimes a bit more, a bit less. It was almost 400 with the SSD, the Micron 500. So now reading from the drive. So let me copy, let me paste it. Let me just, oh well, come on. Yeah, let me just paste it here. So, oh yeah, this is what I'm using. It's a Samsung as well, so hard disk drive. So let me paste it here. And let's see, reading from the drive. It went slightly higher, so about the same thing. Actually, worst. Yeah. Get an SSD if possible, and NVMe even better if possible. That's just a 2, yeah. You know what, even though I'm gonna make this video way too long, but it is what it is. Okay, 6.3 gigabyte folder. I'm gonna copy these and paste it here to this drive. So it's random, so it's not a sequential. I mean, that was the sequential file. Is it the name? Let's see now whenever it finishes that. One thing about these mechanical drives is that they're very steady, like the speeds, especially with a sequential drive. I mean, the SSD was pretty steady too. So yeah, images, stuff like that, some other files. Copy into the drive. So about a minute. Let me pause this. All right. So yeah. Now let me cut it. Gonna click cut, so I don't have to come back here to delete it. And let me paste it in this folder. Yeah, it is what it is. So it's going from the hard disk drive to the Nvme internal drive I have. It's gonna be about the same. Yeah, I know it. So yeah, thank you for watching. I just wanted to do this as a bonus. So the flash drive is the slowest, then this, then the SSD and the Corsair Gtx with SSD controller they had, you know, about the same speeds. But if you're gonna be writing a lot to the Corsair, if you ever get it, the GTX, it's gonna slow down. It's you know, the right speed transfer rate. So it's better to get an external SSD. What's the brand? SANDISK has a nice SANDISK Extreme. It's pretty good external SSD and pretty compact. Yeah, so if you want something more compact, Corsair GTX is the way to go. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I love my Nvme. This is good old days. Thank you for watching.